Let me be your witness. Let me stand here with you. I will listen to your stories, the days you've walked through. Let me be your witness. Let me hold space for you to show up in the world as only you can do.
Thank you.
My name is Audra Sergel.
I'm Robin Schweitzer.
I'm Holley Pering.
And we are the Upsides.
Whew, can't believe we're here. About 10 years ago, before we were the Upsides, our original band name was actually the Decades, because at that time, every member of our group happened to have been born in a different decade. And then we didn't like that, so we called ourselves the Resignations, because we had all quit jobs that we really hated. But we decided that that felt too much like we were resigning ourselves, like we were giving up on something, and the Upsides felt more fitting. As for me, somewhere out there, there is a Google review on me, if you look up my name, that says I have the patience of a saint, which I think is hilarious. Because when we started this group, I was not a patient woman. I was fresh out of music school, really eager to gig and work and do the things, and I really wanted them right away. My vision for working with a group, which was sold to me straight from music school, was you write the song, you practice it to the bone, you record it, you release it, drive yourself into the ground, and lather, rinse, and repeat until you're dead. Yep, turns out not. But Audra told me at that time, you don't get a band out of a box, it takes time.
That sounds like something I'd say.
You did.
Yeah.
Sometime after moving to Columbia, while shopping at good old Lucky's Market, I heard the sound of ukuleles in the cafe. It turns out it was the Ukulele Fight Club, which became my jam. Someone in the Fight Club passed on my name to the Upsides as a replacement band member, and when they reached out, I thought, why me? Despite doubt, I said yes, and I got to work on learning their songs. And little did I know that years later, we would still be writing, arranging, recording, or giving a speech to you all tonight. Or putting on tattoos.
Yes, but tats. Yes. So we went from the Fight Club to the Upsides. Yeah. I'm a Jill of many trades and just a ball of anxiety and a list maker to the core and a graveyard of Google business listings. At this point, I think I can just call myself a professional pivoter, and I do it well. So all the best people that I know have been a lot of things, and my thing has always been that I can't do one thing. I've been a musician. I am a musician. I've toured, conducted, taught, did some writing, arranging, and recording. I've been a church choir director, an event musician, and I've even tuned pianos. I tune my own piano. I've co-founded a nonprofit in town here called VidWest, and 4 years ago when I was messing around with social media, I seemed to crack the code and kind of figured out how to go viral organically. And if you look really hard and dig really deep, somewhere out there there's a video with me in it, with over 500,000 views on how The Never-Ending Story, that movie from the 80s, is just a giant allegory for depression.
I'm gonna have to find that video.
Yeah, it really got people talking. So now I do social media and marketing for a living, but I am still the same girl that wrote e-newsletters for 10 of my friends on AOL in 1998. And I gave reviews for the best Bonnie Bell lip smackers. So it's Dr. Pepper. It is.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. All along the way, I've just wanted to do what I think I do really well, which is learn. I'm a good learner, and a natural outcome of that is just doing and becoming different things. Thank you.
Reflecting back on my story, now this was a lot harder for me than writing a song, by the way. Our lyrics kept popping in my head, especially this one. Oh, it's a long, long road we're traveling on and on and on and on and on and on. I started to see a link between music and community had been there from the beginning. My parents got me involved in a girls' choir at a really young age, and we were called God's Angels.
She is an angel. She really is.
I fooled you. This was not only a music/friend group, it was belonging. It cultivated a lifelong love, a life of music. I had a purpose. All along the way, I've weaved it into my work. It's how I found my people, formed and kept lasting and meaningful connections, including the upsides. Music was my shield, and I'd say sword too, or hammer, but I'm thinking more like one of those pocket multi-tools. In the counseling world, I call it a resilience factor to counteract traumatic stress. I had learned to put up walls, pack away my emotions, hide who I was, and I didn't often have the words or the courage to express myself. But music was a language. I could write, sing, use my voice, and let it all out in ways that were much more powerful. A spark fueled my curiosity about therapeutic uses of music when working with a resident at a care home for young adults. She had a brain injury and mental health challenges and seemed to be swallowed up by her internal experience. But when I brought out my guitar, she would light up, improvising lyrics and smiling and singing with me, and that really stuck. Another spark was in AmeriCorps after college, working with youth at the Manila Dunes Community Center. Our motto was getting things done. I was starry-eyed, head in the Humboldt fog, naive about extreme hardships kids and families were facing right in my backyard. And I'd say I learned a lot more from them than they did from me about creating safe spaces to be who you are and grow, to get outside and be creative, improvise, be silly, how to show up and do what you can with the tools in your toolbox. Big DIY person here.
We all are. We're big crafters.
Yeah.
When I landed back in the Midwest to reground in my roots and my family, I found a music therapy program at a college in my hometown, and I soon realized I had found my dream career. Now you might be wondering, what is music therapy? I get this a lot. The brief rundown is using music within a therapeutic relationship to support health and wellness goals. Music was a lifeline for me, and now I could learn to harness that healing power to help others.
That was the big challenge. In terms of my profession, I came by my career as a musician, an educator, and a creative pretty honestly. My mom is an English professor, and my dad, he's here tonight. Hi, Dad. He's a music professor, a composer, and a conductor, and I basically idolized both of them for very good reason. They both created family and community with words and actions, showing up with great love through music. It was pretty incredible to watch. And so becoming a choral music educator just seemed like a no-brainer because it was all the things I loved about my family life all at once. After music school, I went into public school teaching. That was in 1999. And I call it, well, don't applaud yet.
Too soon.
Don't applaud
Too
yet.
soon.
Yeah, too soon. It was the before times, as I like to call it with my students, before the face world and before social media and the internet, and also before a lot of civil rights for queer folks. And so I learned quickly in my first year of teaching at a small rural school that being a choral music educator and being queer was not going to be particularly safe for me. See, that's where it gets into be a bummer.
Upside.
It was not the upside. It was very apparent from the first faculty meeting to the teacher's lounge to the administrators and the school board members coming by at my lunch break asking me where I was over the weekend and who brought me to school that week. It let me know it was going to be different for me. And it was a jagged little pill to swallow, Alanis Morissette. But I now realize that being queer and allowing myself to honor that was actually a huge saving grace and joy. I started my private music studio in 1999, once again with the help of my parents and my college roomies. And suddenly, I was free to live a very different life outside of the confines of these broken systems that I had been kind of shoved into. I started my creative life by writing subversive sketch comedy with a group of queers called the Big Muddy Opera Company. Yeah, thanks. You should know we named it that to make ourselves sound legit, because These shows were audacious in a way that can only be executed by people without their frontal cortexes fully developed. Okay? They were audacious, and I want you to picture it. It's the early 2000s. It's the smokiest basement bar you've ever seen. My dad's there again, right? And it's me and my besties, and we're writing, producing, and performing musical theater. It's gender-bending politics. It's duct tape and bad wigs, and a really good band, though, really good band, and the most body-irreverent sketches you've seen. My favorite, most prized opus from that time is a piece entitled, "Can You Smell My Love?"
Which I want to say that the Big Muddy was one of the first times that I set eyes on you, and I watched you perform, and there were wigs in underwear, and I looked at you and I thought, them's my people.
Yep, that character's name was Big Nuts. So, yeah. Joking aside, I found members of my chosen family in that group. And more importantly, I found my creative voice as a songwriter, as a community builder, and a music director. And those skills ultimately led me to start with, again, the help of Robin and with my dad, the Chorus, which is Columbia's LGBTQ community choir, and we celebrate our 10-year anniversary this November. Thank you. Ultimately, I found my chosen family through music and through the grace and the joy of being queer, which I would not have said would have been the truth years ago. And these two amazing women, I came along the way. They came along the way of all of that. And then here we are, these many roads that have led us to this stage tonight. Thank you.
So in my decade alongside these women and before, I happen to have dealt with a lot of death. I have sung at funerals of not one, but several college friends who have taken their lives. I have sung at services of family members, my own grandparents, and I've been to a lot of funerals. And each one hits me in a way that makes me feel like maybe I'm feeling things a little too much or feeling things harder than I should. And that's just the life of an empath. But the reframe here is this. The more people you have in your life, the wider your community, and the bigger that circle is, the more people you're going to inevitably lose. It's just the math of it. Amen. But the upside to death is that you get a lot of love.
Yeah. Amen. Yep.
And I felt it a few years ago. I went through a very tumultuous divorce, and in that time, I wasn't able to give much to this group or to the world, and these ladies helped carry me. And a lot of folks proximal to me and to us as a group really circled the wagons and they showed the hell up. And now I find myself sometimes helping other women navigate and sometimes exit painful relationships, painful marriages. And back then, friends of ours picked me up off the floor. They emptied my dishwasher, cleaned up my yard, let me sleep. They brought me food and they took my kids out for breaks. For fun and sunshine, yep. Audra and her partner did that on several occasions, and a lot of those people are super fans. So they show up to concerts hours away, like we see them and we're like, thanks for making the trip. They appear in strangers' backyards when we give house concerts, so they always tip us, thank you. They sit in rain and muck and sunshine and heat, and just to listen to us tell our story in song. And we also have a lot of people who aren't on this stage with us tonight who are a part of our story, and those are musicians and sound engineers and supporters. And without them, there would be no song. There would be no show, there'd be no concert, and there'd be no one to take in our stories and to bear witness to what we have to tell. Thank you.
During my time with the Upsides, the long, long road has gone through burnout, losing sight of my dream, and some pivots, studying mental health counseling on top of navigating other pieces like the pandemic, family and relationships, aging and fertility in a world where women's health can seem like an enigma. I had to rediscover my purpose and find some new tools. And I just got my LPC license in the mail yesterday.
Woo! Yeah, you did. We're so proud of you.
Frame that.
Yes, I have to post it. The foundation of my work these days is witnessing, holding space through the uncertainty, the sorrow and the joy, the ups and downs of life.
And we have done a lot of life together. We've done pregnancies. In fact, we recorded our first album when I was 8 months pregnant with my first, and he turns 8 next month. And then we re-recorded it 7 years later, so last year. And we've done divorces, we've done new relationships, jobs, career pivots, miscarriages,
Advanced degrees, state licensures, surgeries, fertility treatments, breakups, multiple moves, home purchases. We got the names on the house. We got the names off of the house.
we got you get a house, you don't get a house, you get a divorce, and you get a divorce.
Yes.
We've done multiple and repeat presidencies and a global pandemic. I think at one point we were all Duolingo buddies learning Spanish.
We got a new friend quest like today.
Oh, I'll get on that after
Thank
this.
you.
I gave up. Yeah. As it turns out, the journey is the gig. And we get to stand witness to each other's stories unfolding. And how awesome and what a privilege it is to find yourself in the middle of a life that you used to desperately yearn for.
Yeah.
And when we feel drained from the heaviness, we have to find ways to keep those sparks of inspiration. I sometimes change course, unplug, get into nature and community, find creative people who care and want to do something. During the COVID years, Robin had the idea of starting a group to work through the creative self-help book, The Artist's Way. Through collective trauma and isolation, we reclaimed creativity and community. Recently, Audra has organized groups to help us stay inspired even when the world feels like it's falling apart. And she was just named Columbia's first artist laureate with the project.
Right here, folks.
When a City Sings.
That's right. It's a big deal.
So our project is When a City Sings, and check that out if you want to get involved. This, mind you, is on top of all the other family commitments, important projects, and community work these ladies are always invested in. Cultivating the spaces where we can connect, bridge divides, listen, and speak up, where we can collaborate instead of compete, that feels important right now. In the upsides and in life, we are better together, using our different strengths.
Yes. Yeah. Tonight, we're going to sing for you a piece called Witness that we developed as a trio in honor of the women on this stage tonight in our community, and for That's What She Said.
And it is, as of midnight last night, live on Spotify and iTunes. I checked at 12:06. It's up. Okay.
Witness came to me in 2022 when my partner, Alicia, and I became foster parents to a 4-year-old little girl. I'll call her the tiny professor tonight, but 4-year-old going on 40 is much more apt. The call came one night from our social worker after months of training and home visits and all the things you do to become foster parents. And Alicia and I have been waiting through those months together. But as an individual, I had been waiting through 6 years of failed attempts at trying to get pregnant and a pretty painful divorce. The weekend that we opened our home to her was the same weekend that my mother with dementia was coming to stay with us. And her caregiver and partner needed a respite. And so my partner just happens to be a trauma specialist with the state, thank God, because she married me. But there's that. And I'm an educator, and so we looked at one another, we held hands, and we said, we got this. And for 2 weeks in that time, I got to live a lifelong dream, which was to just mother beside my mother. It was beautiful. It was nutso. But like Robin said, when you're standing in the middle of the life that you yearn for, you take pause and you notice it and you give that gratitude. And the grace about having songwriting as a career is that I have this collection of life snapshots that I just get to put in my pockets and put in my heart and have anytime I want to hear them. And as a composer, I know what I meant when I wrote this song. And over time, music being the powerful alchemist that it is, it changes that ordinary into something extraordinary, into a golden beating heart that you can just wear right on your sleeve. I knew that the role in our lives with the tiny professor was temporary. I knew that we were pouring into a cup that would inevitably spill because we had been trained to know that about the statistics of foster kids. And yet we just prayed that our love would stick to her, and we know that it stuck to us. The lesson from the tiny professor was simple. It was just loving somebody exactly as they are, not trying to change them, and beholding them. We are lucky that we had a faith in a benevolent God, because there was no clear path ahead. And when I tell you it's special to share this song with you tonight, I mean it from the bottom of my little heart on my sleeve.
One part I love about the upsides is arranging the harmonies. Now, if you could be a fly on the wall as we were figuring out Witness and then checking off all the deadlines leading up to this event, you would see a lot more than the polished final piece tonight.
We did make the deadline, but you'd see a lot of like empty cups of coffee, someone caring for my plants, taking breaks. It's a really interesting process. And in the group, we tend to gravitate towards what we each do best. So we'll each bring our songs, but nobody tends to own the melody. And it gets woven instead into kind of this earthy 3-part harmony. So in this way, we kind of co-own our songs. And they can't really live without the other harmonies. And in fact, when we try to gig out, and the songs just don't work without all 3 of us present. So in terms of our individual strengths, Audra has a really great laser focus for what needs to be fleshed out and what can be let go of for later. And a really great ear for sounds that are not in the room, and that helps us bring in other players and pushes us to get us into the recording studio. And Holley's lyrics, if you have not heard them, feels like you have a knife wedged right in your heart and it's wiggling around a little bit, bleeding, and you're crying because you don't know if you're happy or sad or angry or all 3.
See, I'm no angel.
It's a great feeling.
It's often hard for me not to get stuck in my head, caught up in doing things right.
Music school syndrome collectively, yeah.
So I work through performance anxiety, imposter syndrome, how not to fixate on mistakes, and just go through the motions to perform a song well. And some of my best and most raw emotional performances happen in my living room for an audience of 1. It takes vulnerability to let that emotion through, to be witnessed and connect with others. It's not easy.
It is not easy trying to do things right and to have the feeling like you have to be doing things correct. So to that point, in this group, I don't do anything correct, and I've played the ukulele, bongos, harmonica, guitar, piano, vocals. I've sung. I've played the melodica, which if you don't know what that is a piano that you blow into. Chime tree and washboard. And all of these things I do not do well. But within the group, I just go where I'm needed, try things new, be imperfect, and just add the little something, something.
Music can help us access and enhance the emotion, the memories, the connections, if we let it move through us. In music therapy, I like to say, music is a full brain workout. When we click and we let it flow, we create this sort of spontaneous, fleeting magic. Whether that's playing in a group, attending a concert, or belting out your favorite jam, you can feel it. No words can quite describe that.
It's special to me that in our songs I can hear our years of growth together as musicians.
And the upsides are one of the few things in my life that have stood a long test of time. And for me, in all of life's beauty, pains, pressures, and deaths, it helps to remember that I'm surrounded by this village.
We have a blessed melodic testimony together, a soundscape of a sisterhood and a friendship that verifies all we've walked through. And it's a physical, actual album, but it's really more about our history and our connection to one another.
And it is truly a gift to bear witness to these ladies' stories. And holding space for someone is the act of love that we all need. Thanks. So I said earlier, my anxiety brain goes in all the directions, all the time, doesn't stop. But I hustle so I can fit in all of life's rich and full experiences. I don't want to miss out. And underneath this patience of a saint exterior, there's a quiet pressure. Like I'm constantly trying to prove myself or trying to climb a ladder that doesn't actually go anywhere. And that is just imposter syndrome in a different colored dress, and I'm in a different colored dress. And I've been learning that there's another way to exist inside all of that. Since my divorce, I have started seeing someone who is here tonight with my family. And I am learning that I don't have to do to be chosen. I just have to be.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that shift has changed how I think about everything, not just relationships, but how we show up for each other. People need to lift each other up. Humans, not just women, need community. And they need their own version of the upsides because we can't thrive by ourselves. We are not engineered as humans to be alone. We have to lift each other up in spaces like these, where our inherent worth and not what we're trying to prove is seen and recognized and celebrated.
One of Holley's songs, which is one of my favorites, is called Concrete, and it's a haunting ballad about the doomsday clock winding down, which I admit I had no idea what the actual doomsday clock was, or that it even existed until Holley wrote about it.
It's 85 seconds to midnight right
Yeah,
now.
it's like, it's the latest it's ever been, y'all, and that can seem a lot less upsidey than we want it to be right now. But Holley actually brings us back around when she writes in the bridge these lyrics. It's a lonely sidewalk, walk with me. We are wildflowers breaking free. And in cracks we find the earth beneath and we grow toward the light while the sun still shines. Chime tree.
That's me.
Yes, that's Chime tree.
And that was the inspiration for the album artwork for that, the album that song is on.
And the truth in those lyrics, we are wildflowers breaking free. It's really a lyric for all of us in this room, but especially for every woman in this room, because what we've learned tonight is that we all have the stories of breaking free. Our stories of joy, of survival, of the overcoming, of the rebirth, the painful steps of starting over again. It's our very tapestry as women. It is our collective song. And these threads and these melodies get woven together and get stronger every time they are spoken and held and heard like they are tonight with folks like you.
In a 2026 documentary about the poet Mary Oliver, yay, true false, she mentioned how she had spent her life learning to love and to be loved, and how that didn't come easy. That's a part of my journey. It's just learning what it means to be authentic and to believe in myself enough to let some walls down, to show up, slow down, and be real together. To say I love you and to ask, how do I extend that love out to all, beyond my circles, my community, my country? And I've been learning it along the way in my music, in my work, in therapy, through the people who love me, who help me believe in myself and remind me of my beauty and my strengths pretty often. Lucan, my partner, and my family that's here. And I'm learning to let that sink in. Robin and Audra and all of the women who are brave enough to stand up here and tell their stories, and all of you, it's what we're doing. We're showing up and loving each other, not always all put together, but as we are right now.
Yeah. As women, we have this incredibly hard-earned resilience that we bring to every second as leaders, as professionals, as caregivers, as friends, as partners, and we just keep going, don't we? Even when we are so very ready to no longer require this resiliency, we just handle it. We've got this, right? We've always got this. And you know what? We're car crying. We are kitchen crying. We are letting it out in meditation. My favorite thing to do is to silent scream so I don't have to really hurt my voice, right? And we're gonna call the bestie, or we're gonna be the bestie. And the bestie is just going to let it all out, and we're gonna hold the colander, and she can just let it all out, and the stuff that's not important goes right down the drain, and we hold the gems right for her. Yes, amen, amen. The most astonishing part of handling it all, the soft, the heavy, the beauty and the ache, this life thing that happens in the smallest increments and at the speed of light, is that as women, we still find our witnessing moving both ways. It's mutual. There is true love in the reciprocity of how we show up for each other as women. It's not just about being seen or heard. We want to see and we want to hear. And thank you.
That's right.
What she said.
Yes.
Yes. Witnessing is saying, you don't have to carry this alone. I verify the struggle and I verify the joy. It's in these moments that we realize that by being authentically who we are, by letting ourselves be seen as the whole enchilada, the perfectly imperfect, we are letting ourselves be seen, and then others know that they can be fully seen, and then we start doing that together. As Robin wrote in one of her songs, the thing about love is it's the whole thing. The thing about love is that it sets you free. Yeah. I've learned that true love is freedom with accountability. We let people see the messy parts, the unfinished parts, the parts we're still figuring out, and I'm a recovering perfectionist, and I'm Gen X, and it's really hard, and I don't love it.
And I'm millennial, and it's the same.
Yes, but just like music, love is the alchemist that changes the ordinary into the extraordinary. It takes all of this shrapnel and all of the everything all at once, and it turns it into a little heart of gold that we get to wear on our sleeves. And none of us arrive finished, but we get to honor and honor and grace ourselves in communities like this, in friendships like these, and in love. And now we're going to sing a little bit about it. Yeah.
Hey,
No pressure.
we did discuss having the Jeopardy theme song play during this transition.
Let me be a witness. Let me stand here with you. I will listen to your stories, the days you walked through. Let me be a witness. Let me hold space for you to show up in the world as only you can do. It might be a moment, perhaps a chapter or two, a lifetime or a memory I'll spend with you. None of that matters. Oh, when we have today, one breath is an eternity in its very own way. Let me be a witness. Let me be a witness. I'll hold space for you. Let me be a witness. can hold you. You were made free, bird high on a wing, born for miraculous things. I will simply love, be a safe place to land, a heart to see your beauty, a soul to understand. Let me be a witness. Let me stand beside you. Let me be a witness. I'll hold space for you. Let me be a witness. Let me stand beside you. Let me be a witness. I'll hold space for you. Let me be your witness. Let me hold space for you to show up in